Two of three, four. Two of three, four.
Welcome to Disability Café. I'm Maryann.
I'm Chris. I'm trying to find my cats.
That sounds like a personal problem. I'm definitely not trying to find any cats. So today we're talking about the new DSS paperwork that has gone out to all people who receive cash and SNAP benefits in the state of Connecticut. In the state of Connecticut, 391,200 people received SNAP in the fiscal year of 2024, which accounts about 10.6% of the state's population. Okay, so this is a chart from 1990 all the way till 2024 SNAP benefits. And so even though the highest was 2012, 2013, 2014, 2014 and 2015, we have seen the highest reaching almost close to 400,000 people on SNAP benefits in the state of Connecticut. But right now we're steady above 300,000 people.
Seemed like 1 year it went down, and 1 year that was around COVID.
Yeah, well, COVID, actually, we were down. This is 2019 here. And then 2020 hit and we went up and it stayed the same. Stayed the same for 2021. Then 2022, it got higher. Then 2023, because we were in that recession, everything was really expensive. It went really, really high. And then 2024, we had an election, prices started coming down and more people got off. Maybe about 10,000 people got off benefits. And we're not going to know what happens with 2025 until the nutrition report comes out for the state of Connecticut. But right now, we have an average of 391,200 people receive SNAP benefits every month in the state of Connecticut. These are USA facts. The parks give free lunches in the summertime. Like in the summertime when I was a kid, I would just have my free lunch in the park. I would go outside, go play with friends. Oh, we're at the park. Yay, it's lunchtime. And they give you the little free lunch thing and you open it and it's like a tuna fish sandwich and a fruit cup. It has like carrots in it and you get a little thing of milk and then you eat that and then you go back to playing. And that's how it's always been. You go to Colt Park, you go to Goodwin Park, you go to Fernridge Park in West Hartford.
Maybe in the inner cities, only in the suburbs they don't do that. You only get that if the parents paid for the camp.
Why would the suburbs have that? You feel like the upper middle class and richer kids need free lunch in the parks.
Not saying I never heard of it when I was a kid.
It was so good. The tuna. You have to understand the dynamics between Christopher and I. So Christopher grew up in upper middle class neighborhood, and then I grew up on Norwich Street in Connecticut. But compared to the ghetto that I grew up in and where you grew up in, that's why we have different stories of, like you told me stories how your father would go to McDonald's for one of your brothers and Pizza Hut for one of your brothers, and then you wanted KFC or something, and he was going to like all these different places to getting you guys what you guys wanted to eat. And
it was all on the same street.
Okay, but those are the stories that you told me, and I think that's great. I think that your parents did that for you guys. Like you guys need to love on those parents forever. Because my mom, if me and my brothers and sisters would say that, they'd probably smack us in the face. It's like, heck no, we're not doing that. So Yeah, we were just really poor kids, and we shared a
By the way,
room.
I lived in that was like in the middle of nowhere. So
And the problem is, we were in the ghetto where there was gunshots every day. And not only that, my two brothers and my sister, we shared a room. I didn't even have my own bed. I had to share a bed with my sister. Ralphie didn't have a crib. We found this crib in the garbage and carried it to our house and put it in our room. Anyway, I'm not going to compare childhoods. I'm just saying we did not have a good childhood growing up, but it gives you character. And I thought every kid grew up like me, so I didn't know any different. I didn't know that there were kids that actually got to say, "Hey, mom, can I get McDonald's?" And another one, "Hey, can I get KFC?" Hey, another one, "Can I get Taco Bell?" Or another one, "Can I get something different?" And the parents would actually go and do that. I thought that was like TV stuff. So now that everybody knows that, the cool thing about Christopher and I is that we're coming from two very different perspectives of life. And that's why we see food insecurities differently. I've always had food insecurity growing up, and I thought it was something normal. I thought everybody lived like us. And as far as Christopher was concerned, he never had to worry about food insecurity growing up. When it comes to my baby brother, um, his food insecurity comes out in some of his behaviors. For instance, if we buy him a lot of his favorite foods, he'll grab it all out of the shelf, even though this is his own home, and hide it in his room because he's scared he's not going to have it or someone's going to take it. But no one's going to take his stuff here because this is his home. These are his things. The staff always brings their own lunches and stuff. They don't drink his soda or drink his milk. And he even gulps the milk and spits back in it just to make sure that no one drinks out of his milk. And he has, developmental disabilities. So that's just how he protects his food. A lot of the staff are always saying, "Oh, that's kind of gross." But he doesn't see it as that. So starting March 1st in the state of Connecticut, the Connecticut General Assembly, the House, the Senate, and the governor of Connecticut, Ned Lamont, signed it. I don't know the name of the law, but Chris and I will do a follow-up video on this and tell you the name of the law when we know it was voted in 2024, but who wrote the bill and who voted for the bill. And this basically states that the distribution of SNAP, instead of being distributed 3 days in the first 3 days of the month, it's going to be distributed throughout day 1 through day 8. And my question is for the client IDs, because my brother who has developmental disabilities, his client ID is between 88 and 99, but my cousin, who also gets SNAP benefits and is a military vet and a senior citizen, her client ID ends with 0012, so she's still getting her benefits on day 1. And I just want to know if any other people out there with developmental disabilities or just disabilities in general, where do you fall on the issuance day? Are you on day 1, or you're on day 4, or are you also on day 8? I mean, please reach out to Disability Café, comment on this video, and let us know where in this new cycle you're going to fall. And the reason why the state of Connecticut decided to create this new law from the 1st to the 8th is because that the dates would reduce the congestion at retailers and improve the client experience. Boom.
the average question is, could people been waiting for a week where they only have enough food stamps for about 3 weeks? and they're waiting a week, and then like they finally get it, everyone's go grocery shopping the same day.
And people who get food stamps, a lot of the people, well, it depends on what store you go to. So a lot of people in the legislative body probably think that poor people or people with disabilities only buy junk food. But it depends on the culture too. Because I find if you go to Stop and Shop or if you go to ShopRite, you see that you see that, yeah, people do buy more soda or chicken nuggets or mac and cheese or Chef Boyardee, and they do buy those things. But people that go to the subsidized grocery stores like Seatown or Price Right, if you go there around the first, third to the third of the month, you see that they buy more poultry, more meats, more rice, more beans, and it's a more cultural store. I took Chris to Seatown in Meriden so that he could experience a subsidized grocery store in a Latino community that sells mostly Latino foods. And he loved the store.
Definitely interesting. Only the hallways are very narrow.
They're not very narrow. They're wheelchair accessible. I've been in those stores with people who use wheelchairs and they're wheelchair accessible. The Seatown in Meriden is way bigger than the Seatown in East Hartford, by the way. But the Seatown in East Hartford's deli and hot foods is huge compared to the one in Meriden. So, but I love Seatown. Good music. You're like dancing in the aisle. And the groceries, the meat department is really affordable. So if you go on the first, second, or third of the month, you'll see families and they're buying tons of meats, the giant bags of like 50 pounds of rice, a lot of canned beans. They have their beans like $4 for $5, the Goya brands, the Labiza brand. But they have like all, it's really affordable. Rice and beans, rice and beans, rice and beans. I know you don't feel that rice is a good meal. I know.
I
But
just
it's
think
just,
it needs other stuff like meat and vegetables in it.
okay, but that's culturally something different. A lot of people eat noodles with just butter. And I'm telling you, butter's for rich people. We didn't have butter at home. We didn't have butter growing up. There was a big giant can of Crisco. There was no butter. We didn't have butter on our toast. It was called cold toast. And, I could bring my brother out here and he'll tell you what cold toast is. But it was just a piece of bread and they would put mayonnaise on it. And the CRT would give these big things of mayo. It kind of tasted like Miracle Whip. You put mayo on it and you put another piece of bread on it. And that's how you ate it. You didn't have no cheese. You didn't have no ham. You didn't have nothing. And it's actually really good. I should make it for you sometime. And it's called cold toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have like you have a slice of bread and you put the mayonnaise on it and you put the other bread on it. And then you have the powdered milk and you just put a little bit of powder and you add the water. And then you have the cold toast and the powdered milk. And if you don't believe me, you can ask any of my siblings, but that was breakfast before we went to school. And when I went to school, it wasn't free lunch and it wasn't free breakfast. The parents had to sign up for that benefit and they had to give like their income. And because my mom did it late, there were many times that we did not eat in lunch. We had to sit in a little table on the side and watch everybody eat while our stomachs were growling until my mom got the paperwork done. And then we were able to get a little yellow card or we had tickets. You couldn't lose your tickets too. So when you go to Lunch Lady, the ticket had a date and we had to give them that date and they would give us a free lunch. And if you would lose your tickets, you don't eat. So you have to be very responsible children. And then by the time I got to seventh grade, it was a little yellow card. I can actually go through my stuff. I still have the
So,
card.
so I'd have a kid that they tape it on their clothes.
I didn't have to tape it on my clothes. I just put it in my book bag. I knew that in the front pocket, I didn't put pencils. I didn't put anything. But back then, if you were a hungry kid, those tickets were gold. You took care of it. It wasn't like the kids these days, my grandchildren who lose everything. You give them a Barbie and the Barbie has no shoe by the end of the day. It has one shoe on, one shoe off. I'm like looking through the whole house trying to find the shoes that belong to that doll. Grandma, the shoes. Hmm. But when we were kids, and you knew that you were going to eat that school lunch, and most likely you were not going to have dinner when you went home. So you didn't lose the tickets. There was one time that I misplaced my yellow card in high school, and I was so hungry. I had to go to the bathroom to throw up because you get nauseous and you throw up nothing. It's just yellow stuff because you're so hungry. It was so painful. And then I went downstairs to my locker and I had put my yellow card in my duffel bag for my gym clothes for my soccer gear. So then I went to the last wave of lunch and they didn't have that much lunch left, but they gave me like an apple and like a cold sandwich or whatever. But I took it because it was better than nothing. Because I knew that if I go home, most likely I'm not going to have dinner. Just saying. And you think that it's extreme, but it's not. It's super common. That's why I really, really am a strong proponent that all children, rich or poor, should get free lunch. Because even some of my rich friends, I didn't know the difference between rich and poor when I was younger. But I have friends that their families had a lot of money and they would refuse to pay for the lunch. And I have friends, like one of my friends, she was taller than me in as seniors in high school. She was taller than me and she was less than 100 pounds. She was about 90 pounds. And we were walking home from school and she collapsed from hunger. So I think that every child going to school should get breakfast and lunch. I have no problem with that. In the summertime, I feel like if kids are hungry, should go to the parks, and families should go and collect food. But I think giving food stamps to families, it doesn't guarantee that the child's going to eat. So I knew that
So,
at school, I was guaranteed to eat. I knew that at the park, I was guaranteed to eat. Does that make sense?
yeah.
And you got your choice of whatever you wanted.
I went private, so you don't have that. You if you didn't bring your own lunch or parent member to bring your lunch, you have no lunch.
Because you went to where?
A private school.
A what? I went to public school, but yeah, no, it was the same in private school and public school. If you didn't fill out the paperwork, you didn't eat. If you were a rich kid and you didn't bring a lunch
I'm
or you
saying
didn't
like
have
you
money,
didn't
you
have a
didn't eat.
cafeteria in private school. You could kind of like if you didn't bring it yourself or your parent forgot, you were out of luck. So
So were you ever out of luck? I guess not. You have good parents. So the point is that Christopher had good
I had a
parents.
different situation. I was on medication. I had a weird appetite.
So my thing is that you had really good parents, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying nothing bad about it. I'm saying I wish I had your parents.
Real yogurt could pretty much medication made anything was meat italic during the day.
Mm. So are you trying to say that you'd rather have my mom and I'll trade you for your parents? I'm just asking.
I don't think your mom could handle me and my siblings of what stuff us did. Her'd probably go crazy.
Thanks for watching Disability Cafe with Maryann.
Thanks for watching Disability Cafe with Chris.